Hey folks, don't skip this. I'm trying to give you a game. We have a giveaway going on Instagram right now. If you guys go on there, actually on Twitter too. If you go on there and you get in there, there are not that many people. Apparently we're not very popular. You get on there, you share. There's multiple ways to enter. You just have to do one basic one or all of them to increase your chances. Get on there and we're giving away a copy of Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion anywhere in the world. You just get on there, join in on Instagram and Twitter, look for the recent giveaway post, and you have a really good chance to win that game. So you do that, and we're on Instagram at Tabletop Sessions, and we're on Twitter at TT Sessions QA. Take care. Enjoy the episode. We got a surprise at the end.
All right.
Enjoy it. I'm gonna trade you 2 sheep for that wood. Tell me, honey, does that sound good? 'Cause all I really wanna do is take away longest road from you, yeah. Welcome to these tabletop sessions. Welcome to these tabletop sessions. Hello, fellow gregarious geeks and gamers. Welcome to the 29th episode of the Tabletop Sessions Podcast, where we talk about all things tabletop related that have been occupying the hearts and minds of this international group of gamers over the course of the last 3 weeks. My name is Elias, and with me this week, did you know that 7 straight cuts through a pizza can divide it into as many as 29 pieces? Anyway, pizza's good. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Wait, how does that work? I thought it has to be an even number.
No, I don't think you're
cut.
actually cutting from the center out. I think it's like one line, and then you do like a square in the
Zigzag a little here and there.
You start with the pentagram.
You guys remember when you used to put an effort into your greetings? Now you just all say hi, guys, and then I say bye, guys, and you say bye, guys.
I've always said bye, guys.
I feel
Congratulations,
like
you were lazy from the beginning.
I mean,
I feel like
that's
I need
what my
to get
teacher
out
said.
more.
So my name is Ippo.
And I like Zippo.
My name is Byron, and I also like pizza.
No,
I don't like
was
29 pieces of it.
Well, I think 29 pieces or 5 pieces. If it's one pizza, it's one pizza.
Exactly.
It reminds me of that old joke where the guy goes at the pizza parlor. He asks the kid, "Do you want me to cut your pizza into 6 pieces or 8 pieces?" And the kid says, 6 pieces. I'm on a diet.
That's a terrible joke.
It's a great joke. I read it in Archie Comics.
Guys, what's the difference between Chicago pizza and New York pizza?
New York is thin. Chicago's deep dish. It's a pie. It's not really a pizza.
New York, you can fold it in half.
It's not just that. It's super thick. It's like 3-4 inches thick. And first they put the crust.
Yeah.
Then they put the meat. No, the cheese. Then the meat, then the cheese. Then they put the sauce on top. And then they bake it. And it's not a pizza. It's a pizza pie. But it's not a pizza. It's delicious.
I've never actually had deep dish.
Man, the first time I had deep dish in Chicago, when we got back to Ohio, it was the first time we ever ordered food online from another city. So apparently, this restaurant, I can't remember the name. It was a famous one in Chicago, chain. You could go on their website and you could order it, and they would send them frozen to your house, wherever you are in the States. So they sent us a bunch of frozen ones. We paid for them, obviously. And then we baked them, and it was nowhere near as good as when I had it.
Of course it wasn't.
Yeah,
It's all about temperature control.
Probably, yeah. Also, I'm sure like wood-fired ovens and stuff have a big impact on what's happening, instead of sticking it in the fucking shitty oven in my college apartment. So, yeah.
So guys, speaking about Chicago, I was playing City of the Big Shoulders.
Wow. I'm so impressed. That was so good. I was like, what is happening? It's so good.
So I guess you already understand that this is a game about Chicago. Actually, it's about the rebuilding of Chicago after the fire of 1871. I don't know if you knew about this big fire
No.
in Chicago.
Of course I did. I'm not an idiot.
Yes, I also knew.
Yeah, me too. I'm not an idiot.
So the game is a knockoff of an 18xx game. You start a corporation that needs workers and resources to operate, and you upgrade them with machines, salesmen, and managers. Many people will say that managers are not really upgrading a corporation, but that's another story. So you...
Poor joke. 5 out of 10 at best.
It's a corporate joke. Okay, it's a corporate joke.
Aren't you a manager, Ippo?
Yes. That's why it was a joke. Anyway, okay.
You know, everyone says it's a good joke when you have to explain it afterwards.
Yeah, true, totally true. So you are getting all this stuff in a worker placement environment this time. That's the difference between an 18xx and this game. In the 18xx part of the game, you choose your company's starting stock price. The stock price fluctuates in the end of each round, depending on whether you withhold its income or pay dividends to the stakeholders. So in a typical 1846 race to the Midway way for the people that have played this game.
Midwest.
So
It's Midwest.
What did I say? Yeah, Midwest.
You said Midway, as in the USS Midway, which was the aircraft,
typical...
aircraft carrier that they used in World War II in the Pacific.
I
1836, the race for the midwives.
Also, another nerd fact. Project Midway was the code Microsoft used when they were secretly developing the Xbox, because it was supposed to take on the PlayStation, which again is Japanese, just like the USS Midway was the aircraft carrier that was supposed to take on the Japanese in World War II.
Wow.
Man,
Oh my goodness.
stick around, you'll learn something.
Layered.
Stick around.
Oh.
This
I really
podcast
knew that,
is
though,
brought to you
because,
by
I'm not an idiot.
The More You Know from PBS.
I'm learning so many things in this podcast.
I'll keep them coming.
I was trying to say in a race to the Midwest way. But anyways. So there are 5 rounds in the game with a stock round following each one of them. In a stock round, you buy and sell stocks. And that's the whole game. So what...
We felt like it was the beginning of the next topic.
So what I like and don't like in this game, I love that it's a fun Euro XX that really opens the door to a new mixed genre. And I'd love to see designers exploiting this branch, because I haven't seen any other games like it, like Euro 18XX. I love that you get the 18XX joy in much less time. I think a game can be usually around 2 hours with 4 players, while in an 18XX you need the whole fucking day, I would say. No?
Sorry,
Okay,
can I jump in on that?
At least half the day.
So 18 Lilliput's about 2 hours, right? 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, like, do you feel like if you wanted an 18XX in that amount of time, you would jump to City of the Big Shoulders or 18 Lilliput?
That's an excellent question.
Your answer should be variety is the spice of life.
I'd like to answer that question.
Ooh.
Yeah, please.
You'd go for 18 Lilliput because that's the only one that's an 18XX.
Okay, Byron, if somebody asks you what's the benefit of playing City of the Big Shoulders instead of 18 Lilliput, what would you say?
Okay, I would say it's a different type of game entirely. It's like comparing Dungeons and Dragons to Twilight Imperium. They're completely different games. The only thing it borrows from an 18XX is, you have a company and you buy stocks. That's it. There's no trains. There's no rail lines. There's none of the other factors that make 18XX so exciting.
No, wait, the theme is different, but the mechanism is there. I mean, it's stock manipulation.
But stock manipulations exist in tons of other games. Wildcats, for instance, has buying and selling of shares.
And Panamax, no?
Yeah, but not in the same way. This is a copy-paste
That's
of
what I was gonna
stock
say.
manipulation
Yeah.
of an 18xx game.
Yeah, like in Panamax, it doesn't matter if I buy, like, it's a very simplistic thing. We all start at the same point on the share market, and it only gets manipulated if you buy or sell. In Wildcatters, they call it stock manipulation, but it's more area control in different colors. It has nothing to do. It's like who has the most of each color. It's not really about stock manipulation. It does sound like it's taking that, but that being said, there are other games. I mean, I don't know, like speculation, stockpile. Like, there's a bunch of games about stock manipulation, but I haven't played City of the Big Shoulders, so I can't.
No, okay. So I'm telling you, the stock manipulation in City of the Big Shoulders is a copy-paste of 1846.
Okay, all right.
So it's exactly that. So,
But it's like
back
stock.
to your-
But it's like stock round, but no ORs, no operational rounds.
there are operational rounds that you are that are playing in a Euro style, the worker placement phase.
So it's like they took
So-
one out of three phases from 1846, and then filled in the others with another game.
Yes, but I believe I mean, do you really enjoy the operational round in 18xx games?
Like,
I mean, that was my third point here that I liked in this game, that they got rid of the fiddly find the right hexagon phase of 18xx operation phase.
No,
I
I
love
like
that
building the
phase.
track. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
It's not okay. I wouldn't say it's not nice. It's nice, but it takes a lot of time, right?
No, the
I mean, that's-
problem is the end of the game, the last 15 to 20% of an 18xx game, where you're basically just counting the same track over and
Yeah.
over again with minor changes. But in the beginning of the game, when you're deciding how to go, if you're going to cut off someone, grab the last position on a station, it's really fun. Like it's at least half the fun for me.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. So these three were my plus points, and what I didn't like, first of all, were the colors. I was thinking about it.
The colors.
It's a base background where the resources are brown for wood, which thematically is correct, right? And black for coal.
Yes, thematically wood is brown.
Yeah, and coal is black. But it's so hard for me to distinguish between the wood and the coal in this game.
It's prettier than Arkwright.
No, it's not.
It has more color than Arkwright.
Really?
I mean, I'm looking
It
at
has
it.
pink and blue.
It looks a lot like Arkwright, to be honest. I think if I wasn't so familiar with Arkwright and you showed me this picture, it even has the little gray pegs worker guys. What is this? Look at this. Aren't these guys from Arkwright? Rima?
To be honest, the art is nice, but I mean, if the coal was let's say if the wood was red, I would be really happy.
This makes
with the art.
no fucking sense.
But
If the wood
Okay,
was
there is-
red, it would throw me off so much.
What
I'd
about-
be
what
like,
about
oh, this is
What about if the coal was red?
this is brick.
Burgundy.
Exactly. Like it'd be super weird.
Thank you, Dima. Yeah, or cherry tree.
What?
Okay,
Cherry
so why don't they just
cherry
make the
tree.
coal red? Because when
Burgundy
it burns, it
instead
goes
of
red.
brown.
Did you say
Could've
the
made the
wood
coal
is
white.
cherry tree?
Okay, Ipo, what's your next point?
Make it purple and call it Purple Heart.
And use
Okay,
actual
so-
purple heart for the cubes.
Imagine actually rebuilding Chicago out of Purple Heart. That'd be like the coolest fucking city on the planet. Prince would have moved there. That was a good joke because Prince likes purple. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so my last point, and for me, it's the most problematic point in this game, is that one of the most meaningful decisions in an 18xx game is deciding if you need to withhold the money in the end of the revenue round or pay dividends, right?
Yeah.
So in this game, this never happens. There's always a way to be able to pay dividends to your shareholders. So that, for me, it's a big problem for this game. There was never a meaningful decision in the end of the round because there was always money in my company. Maybe it's because the game is short, it's 5 rounds. Because in the end of the 5th round, usually my company doesn't have any money. But this was a point that was made also by Rodney. I watched his review, and he was saying that he made this point before the first time I watched his review, and I didn't have played any City of the Big Shoulders at that time, and then I realized that he's totally correct.
Wait, who said this?
Even in my
Rodney.
Who's Rodney?
Rodder runs through.
Rodney Smith from Watch It Played?
No.
Maybe?
No, wait. No, the guy that explains the rules.
From Watch It Played or Rado, the guy who keeps talking about his wife?
No. Not the guy. Not that guy.
Rodney Smith has a review?
Wife, in inverted commas.
Yes.
We're not sure is alive or not.
He has a review on this because his patrons asked him to do it.
I see. Okay, so Rodney Smith. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
And he was right. Even in my first game, of course, I'm not inexperienced, but okay, I have played 18xx enough maybe to know how to manipulate the economy, and maybe it was my skill, but I don't think, I think it's a problem for this game. And I find it really a thing that they should consider to improve. Maybe.
Listen, Rodney hasn't reviewed City of the Big Shoulders. Can't find it anywhere.
I will find it and put it in the episode description.
All right. Okay, can I tell you something? What it sounds like to me? It sounds like you're unfairly judging a game that's not an 18xx game. Like, it's not classified as an 18xx on BGG. The 18xx community has adopted it as one of their train games, but that's not fair to the game. Like, you can't say, "Oh, I didn't like it because it wasn't, it didn't have the same decision as most 18xx games," when the game itself is not claiming to be an 18xx game. That's what it sounds like to me. I think you're unfairly judging it.
When you asked me before to compare the 18 Lilliput with this game, I was thinking that the main benefit of this game is that it's easier to teach to a gamer that has already played a Euro game. And so maybe, that's the thing, that it doesn't try to be something that it's not.
Yeah.
And 18 Lilliput tries to be an 18xx, and it is an 18xx.
It is an 18xx, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's for more hardcore gamers. Would you say that? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't played it. I just, I don't like your review. Sorry, I'm commenting as we go. Like, if I'm a listener and I'm interested in City of the Big Shoulders, but I'm not into 18xx, you're literally just judging it based on how much of an 18xx game it is. And the fact that the cubes are brown and black. Like, imagine that I didn't tell you this was an 18xx game. Imagine you didn't know it was an 18xx game. What do you think about this game on that grounds alone?
Okay, I can step in here because I'm not an 18xxer. I played 1846 once, maybe. And I'm not a huge fan of trains. I think it's pretty well known that I don't like trains. But that being said, I really enjoy City of the Big Shoulders because it's not a train game. So for those guys that don't like 18xx games, this just might be the kind of game for them.
So you mean like if you like the stock manipulation, but not necessarily the theme and the actual track building, then this is a good way to go. Okay.
Because the rest of the game, the worker placement phase, it's really engine building. Like, you're trying to get your factory as efficient as possible so you can make as many goods as possible, so you can sell as many goods as possible, so you can pay out as much as possible.
Yeah.
So it's really trying to be as good as you could possibly be in each of those rounds to try and advance your company up the ladder. It's not, oh, I've got to run my train out, but now I've got to hope I get that right tile piece to be able to run the train. In this, there are basic actions which let you get a manager or get a marketer or get a worker. And then there's advanced actions. So someone can take your advanced action spot, but there are still the basic action spots to let you still do something in your turn. You're never locked out of the game for very long.
Okay.
I like that.
Thank you. That was really nice to hear.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a game for everybody to explore. It's a game designed by Raymond Chandler III, published by Parallel Games.
Any game designed by
2019.
someone whose name ends with the third.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, like, one thing I don't like about City of the Big Shoulders,
bougie.
and that's because I've been playing it on Board Game Arena quite a lot, and that's great because it keeps track of your score. But if you had to try and do this at home, you're gonna need a calculator.
Yeah, because those are some high scores, like 5,000
Yeah.
something.
And sometimes it's incremental swings of like 101 or 97 different.
But
and
is it just money like in 18XX? Isn't that the
No, everything affects. So if you pay out, your value changes, then your points change.
Yeah,
And
but then
if
don't
you
you
have
just
let-
count at the end and that's it?
no, but it's constantly it's weird.
No, wait. That's a Board Game Arena feature.
Yeah, maybe.
In a real game, you wouldn't know any time your score and your
Yeah, you would
Fair
just
enough.
count it
Like-
once at the end of the game. So
exactly, yeah.
Because if I had to do this the whole game, I'd go mad.
Okay, one last thing. The beautiful art is by Emily Deering and Andres Reh. The only problem was the coal.
Please revise that.
I'm gonna go on record and oppose you on that. Like I think brown and black are pretty perfect for wood and coal. It doesn't
I
make
don't
any
know.
sense. to
I'm getting
change.
old. What can I say?
Well, thank you
And,
both.
and that was the City of the Big Shoulders.
That was great. Thanks for that. Hope you didn't mind me cutting in so much. I just I felt like it was one that we could dig deep on.
So for cities that have coronary heart problems with their deep dish pizzas, let's take it to a city that does not have that problem because they eat a lot of sushi. The game is Yokohama.
Yokohama.
Yokohama. I might have said it wrong. Let's listen to it.
Yokohama.
I tried to have such a nice opening there, and now I feel like I'm just...
The man spent so much time coming up with this game, and you can't even respect the city he named.
I know. What did I do?
It either goes Yokohama or Yokohama.
What I done? Okay. Yokohama was released in 2016 by TMG. It was designed by Hisashi Hayashi.
Yeah, he's the guy
he
who
also-
did Trains, which is really good.
He also did the art for the game, along with Adam P. McIver.
MacIver.
Why are these names so
MacGyver,
hard
yeah.
today?
It's like
What's going on?
MacGyver, but Irish.
Rio Miyamo.
I had no idea Bard struggled this much with Japanese and apparently Irish names.
Everybody knows that MacGyver can do anything. He can even do a
You can
game.
even it's MacIver. It's MacGyver's.
Despite my
Irish name.
butchering of the
Whatever.
credits, Yokohama. I said it again.
It's okay, it's good.
Yokohama was released in 2016 and is currently sitting at 98 on the BGG Top 100. I feel that is a spot well deserved, even though I have pros and cons for both sides of the game. The game is essentially very similar to Five Tribes in that your main action phase, you're going to be dropping workers off at locations and doing those actions. Kind of like Five Tribes, where the last guy that you put down, you do that action at that spot.
Yeah.
In this game, your president will do that action. So what I like about that is what you're trying to do is you're trying to build up as many people on these spots as you can so that you can get the maximum benefit out of them. Each location has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scale. If you activate it with a 5 power, you will get the most benefit. Then 4, then 3, then 2, and then some spots with 1 power you get nothing. So you really want to have your workers and your president together to get the best benefit out of those locations. Yeah, so there's so many ways the game can end, whether you run out of cards in your order deck or you meet the criteria that you have them for, I think it's 6 shops out, or you have all 4 trading houses out. There's so many different ways that you can trigger the game to end. you have to be very watchful what other people are doing in the game. Otherwise, the game can just surprise you and be like, "Hey, it's game's over. Hope you had fun. Let's count your points." So you really want to be paying attention the whole time what everyone else is doing, but at the same time, you aren't trying to screw people in this game. You're really focusing on what you have to do. Now, what I find that I don't like about this game, and I've played it with 2 players, 3 players, and 4 players. I find at 4 players, the board is just too big. There's just too many locations to travel around. 2 players, there's not enough locations to travel around. 3, that's the sweet spot. I played it with Ippo and Elias. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
BGG agrees with you. 71.5% vote that 3 is the best player count.
With 4 players, it's very crowded. It's a different game. You can block other people. I played it last Tuesday with 4 players. It was interesting.
I've only played it with 3, so I can't. I played it 3 times with 3 players, but I can't really comment on the other player counts.
Yeah, with 4 players, 3 other players can surround the one player's president, and that president can't move for the turn. I mean, it takes a lot of coordination.
You can move, but you're gonna have to pay out of your fucking nose, right?
Yeah.
You can't move. You can only return him to your hand because you can't move him out of. A president can't cross another president's path. So if you're surrounded, you
can move.
No, you
just cannot land. You cannot land on another.
You can move through. You just have to pay 1 yen to them.
Oh, you see, the problem is I never have money. So
what you're saying
that might be why.
Is so true. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I always avoid doing that. I mean, I have never paid.
I think you paid me once, Ippo, and you were like bitter about it.
Guys, who would you recommend this game to? What kind of players? Just because looking at the board, never having played it,
don't judge it based on
a
the
lot
board.
of options.
Do not base the game on the board. You'll be very intimidated by it.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler than that board makes it.
Okay.
Yeah, like when Ippo and I first tried to learn it, we looked at the board and we're like, what is going on? Because there's the main pyramid board, then there's 5 other sub boards on the side. Yeah. Then there's the point tracker board on the other side. Then there's your own personal board in front of you.
And so many icons, so many things to track.
But I want to say that all these icons and symbols are making sense in the end.
Yeah, in the end. Yeah. But the first time I played the game, I didn't know what the fuck was happening, guys.
Yeah, of course.
You can see the difference.
It's a very easy way to
The first time I played it,
teach.
I had like 1/4 the points you guys had. The second time I played it, we were all within like 20 points of each other.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely a game sort of like Race for the Galaxy or Roll for the Galaxy, where you really need to familiarize yourself with the icons because it can really screw you over if you don't get it. And even asking is not enough sometimes because so many of the actions are very similar to each other that differentiating them from each other is not super clear to someone who's never played the game.
That brings me down to what I like and don't like about the game. What I like about it is that there's so many different ways that you can score that you can really do your own thing in the game. But what I don't like about it is in the end, you can just go on a wild point swing and get 30, 40 points in a turn and be like, yo, what's up? And it could be the last turn of the game and no one would have expected that to even happen.
And no one can stop you?
And no one can stop that from happening because you've got agents that give you bonus actions and you can get another bonus action from using those agents somewhere else. And you
but then it becomes tricky because agents are worth points if you collect them in sets as well, right? So it's very interesting. And also the agents themselves don't count towards your actions. It just activates an area. So you had to have pre-prepared. You had to have put enough workers in that unit so that when you activate it with your agent, it's worth your time. Because usually when you activate an area, your manager or whatever he's called, your president, counts as an additional action. If you don't have that, then if you're using an agent, that guy doesn't count as an additional action. So
how much do you need to focus on blocking others or other people's games versus yours? Or you don't need to?
In a 3-player game, I didn't feel like it was supremely important, but it matters, but not like...
In a 4-player game, it matters a lot. I didn't pay attention to Ippo on the church track or the customs track, and before I knew it, he was at the end of the track, and now once you've occupied that space, I can't take that space.
No, I mean, you definitely need to pay attention to what people are doing, but not necessarily in terms of blocking people. Like, have you ever gone to a location with your president, not because you need it, but because you know someone else needs it?
No, I haven't thought that deep.
Exactly. I haven't done that either.
Me too, yeah. Because it's not a big deal. I mean, you can go the next round.
Yeah.
It's more like not letting the other person get too ahead on any specific thing. Like, kind of, balancing it out.
And also, like, the goals for each game are different, but the person who gets it first gets more points than the people who get it later. So knowing, like, oh, I cannot catch Ippo on this one. So instead of working to come in second and getting less points on that one, and then maybe coming in second on another one, I'm going to prioritize another goal.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm first on that one, and then whenever I want, I'll finish the one Ippo already finished, because I'm not first. It doesn't matter. I'm always going to get the same number of points.
Makes sense.
Yeah. My points on this game are not like super deep because I've only played it 3 times. I enjoyed it. I think the 5 tribes comparison is apt. I think the more traditional comparison is Istanbul, because you're going around dropping off workers and you can move along that path. I will say this game is a lot deeper strategically than Istanbul. My main problem with the game is we've played it 3 times, and I felt like I've played the same game 3 times. Maybe that's, I don't know, people like that. I don't know, but I felt like it's followed. I feel like the goals you have to go for are very similar. It's, you know, build trading houses on industrial areas. Oh, this time build trading houses on administration areas. Ooh, like, wow.
Yeah.
Like you're just doing the same thing.
I mean, I would prefer like secret objectives in that sense.
Maybe.
Like end-game
I haven't
secret
thought
objectives.
it through. I think of the 3 games, the one I would like to play the most is Yokohama. But I think the one that I have the biggest soft spot for is Istanbul. And I think the reason is, even though Istanbul is also repetitive, the expansions change it up a lot. And also, there's always the aspect of it's a race in Istanbul. Because in Istanbul, it's not about points. It's whoever gets the 5th ruby first. So it doesn't matter if you're doing the same thing. You have to do it faster than everyone else. So that puts a little bit into the game to change things up. With Yokohama, I feel like it's more of just like who played better, which is great for a Euro. But when you're doing the same thing over and over, maybe it can get a little bit tiring.
With Yokohama, it reminds me of an 18xx in the sense that you don't really know what's the score in the last round, and you're just going to calculate and see what happens.
True. I felt that too. Like in the last game we played, you know, I thought I did quite well, and then I came in last. Like, like I thought I won the game, or at least second place, and I came in last. So,
and you're kind of right. I mean, it's kind of repetitive, as you say. I mean, the goals are the same, or almost the same, and it's all about efficiency. So, if you like these kind of games, this is great. And I like it, and I like this kind of games.
It's definitely a game. Someone like Patsatsufis, your brother-in-law, Ippo, he would play it several times and figure out the solution, and then just like destroy on that game. You know?
Yeah, but there is some randomness in how you set up. The tableau every time.
But he would calculate. I'm pretty sure he would like make a sheet or something and calculate. Is it better to go for church early, or is it better to go for objectives early? There's definitely some randomness, but he's already doing it in Terra Mystica, and it has about the same level as randomness as Terra Mystica. So, because Terra Mystica has the objective goals on each round.
But Terra Mystica has a lot of interaction with other players, so it's really more difficult.
No, it's a very similar level of interaction. In Terra Mystica, you want to build next to people so that you pay less, but at the same time you're giving them magic, right? Whereas in this one, the main level of interaction is you're cutting through people, so you're going to pay them a coin. Is it cheaper or less cheap, right? That's what you're evaluating at the end of the day. I mean, I know Terra Mystica, there's more to it, but I think at its core level, it's a lot of that, right? It's a lot of like is it worth being next to you, or should I split off in my own direction? And Yokohama has some of that. So, especially in the building of the paths with the workers, no?
One more thing that about Yokohama, I loved the colors of Yokohama.
Oh my God.
I mean, for me it makes it's so nice. I mean, it's blue and you get some fish, right?
You felt like the colors blended well together.
Although Ippo,
Exactly.
the tea is green, so shouldn't the tea be brown for you?
No, it's green tea, bro. It's Japan.
It's green. It's the leaves of the tea, right?
Right.
Just checking.
I think it's a good game. I'll tell you that after the first time we played, I added it to my wish list on BGG. And
Okay.
Wow.
by the third game, I took it off my wish list. So the point is, I think it's a good game. I just didn't feel like I needed to own it because I felt, again, there was a lot of repetition. But that should give you an idea of, like, I don't put a lot of games on my wish list. So if you,
But I would like to suggest try to play it with other players. You play 3 games with us.
maybe
it's our fault.
No, for sure,
don't know.
I would have to play
Speak
with
for
other
yourself.
people. But the game itself, I mean, I just mean it's a very repetitive thing. Like, all you can do is place workers and move your president, right? That's it. Like,
Right. Yeah.
that's why I said it's like Istanbul, but Istanbul adds the race aspect. This one is a much more Euro-focused game, which is superior, I suppose. But it's a little less exciting. That's what I feel. I like the game a lot, though. So I'm glad you guys decided to start playing it and pushed me to play it as well.
And that was Yokohama by TMG Games.
Well, thank you very much, Byron and Ippo. Those were some great reviews. I really enjoyed the conversation. While you guys have been playing that, Dima and I bought a game called Call to Adventure, the Stormlight Archive. Call to
Only one
Adventure
game?
is a game that has existed for a while. They had a Call to Adventure and they had an expansion, which was based on the Name of the Wind, which is a fantasy series with the first 2 books out. Patrick Rothfuss, I've been waiting for the 3rd book very patiently for a decade. Could you please just speed things up a little bit? Okay. So, whatever. The point is, they released a standalone version with what might be, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's one of my favorite fantasy worlds, fantasy novel series, which is the Stormlight Archive, which the first 3 books, The Way of Kings, 2nd book is Words of Radiance, and the 3rd book is Oathbringer. The last book just came out, I believe, Rhythm of War, or it's supposed to come out any day now. I haven't picked it up yet. The point is, I'm a big fan of the series. I think it's really good. It's a Brandon Sanderson series. Now, this is the positive, right? The 2 main things about this that really got me going is this is a game about creating the story of a hero, right? That's a cool idea. Like, you're creating their origin, their motivation, and their destiny. I love that idea. And I also love the Stormlight Archive. So good things. The reason I haven't picked up this game before is it's the same designers as Boss Monster. Which
Is a terrible game.
So this game is designed by Chris and Johnny O'Neill, published by Brotherwise Games. Oh, I just got it because they're brothers. Oh, okay. It released this year in 2020 with beautiful, beautiful art by Adam Marin. Before I get into my thoughts on the game, I just want to give you a roundup of the game. But the main idea behind this, the reason we thought this would be a good game to review, 1, it just came out. People are interested. 2, I'm a big fan of the series, and Dima has never read the series. So I wanted to get the perspective from Dima as a person who's never read the series, what she thought about the game by itself versus a fan of the series, myself. So the main idea of the game is you have a character, you're a hero or whatever. You get 3 cards in the beginning. You get 6 cards and you're picking 3. You're basically picking the origin of your hero, his or her motivation, and their destiny, right? And what you're doing, the destiny is actually flipped over. So you don't know what the other player's destiny is. So as you're playing the game, and you play in 3 acts. The first act is the origin, the second act is the motivation, and the third act is the destiny. And what you're doing basically is you're taking cards and adding it to your tableau, right? So let's say you start off and it says, oh, your origin is a fisherman, right? Well, one of the cards you can get might be you became an ardent, which is like a priest, or joined the army, or became a veteran, or whatever. And you can add those to the story of your character. There's two kinds of cards mainly you can take. There's a bunch of smaller stuff, but I'm not going to talk about them. The main things is you can take either a trait, which as long as you meet the qualifications listed on the card, you can pick it up and add it, or you can do a challenge. So solved a murder, took on a Parshendi, joined the army, whatever, some amazing challenge. And to do those, this is the coolest part of the game, is to do those, it tells you, okay, you need this amount of successes, and these are the parts of fate that you can use. You can use stamina and strength or whatever. And then you look at how many of those icons you have, and then you collect them. But they're not dice, they're runes. So they're little double-sided like tiles, basically. And you're just going to hold all these runes in your hand, like think of like an ancient Nordic witch doctor, and you're going to shake up the runes, which are like bones, basically, and you're going to chuck them onto the table, and depending on which side the runes landed on, it's going to tell you if you succeeded in that challenge or not. I think that's very cool. As you develop the game, as you get more challenges and traits, you get more and more runes that you can cast. So that's the main idea of the game. At some point, you'll move to the second act and the third act, and then there's two versions of the game. One is just score, see who got more points, and the other one, and we've played both of these, by the way, the other one is a co-op variant. So you do the same thing up to this point, with some minor differences, and then you take on Odium, who's the big bad in the Stormlight Archive. And you both have to defeat Odium, and he has a certain amount of life points on him, and you have to take him out. So in the first version of the game, you're getting these hero and anti-hero cards, and based on if you become, corrupt or if you become virtuous, you can use hero or anti-hero cards. And usually you use them to fuck over your opponent so you get more points. But by that same handle, when you're doing the co-op variant, you're using it to help your opponent. So it's actually very interesting that it really changed the mechanism up depending on whether Dima was on my side or not on my side, and how much those same cards were able to fuck her over or help her out. So those are the two. This is the basic idea of the game. And then at the end, you tell the story of your character. It doesn't have anything to do with the points. You don't have to do this, but it's the best part of the game. You go through, and you're like, oh, I was a fisherman who was sent to do a trade deal with a distant civilization where I joined I became an ardent in that priesthood. I got imprisoned. And then I got, and then like you can sort of develop, and then I defeated someone and gained some shard plate and became a light eyes. And then I was able to confront my destiny and fight the Parshendi when they became the fused, when they were corrupted by Odium. And you're like, wow, what a story. Anyway, you probably didn't understand any of that if you haven't read the Stormlight Archive. So for that perspective, Dima, as a person who's never read the Stormlight Archive, what do you think about Call to Adventure?
The Destiny cards is your final goal or something. So what kind of cards can you have? I mean, give some examples.
So you can become Radiant. So like one of the things in the series is the Knights Radiant. And there's all these different schools of the Knight Radiant. You can be a Skybreaker or a I can't remember them, Windrunner or whatever, Edge Dancer. So you can become one of these Knights Radiant, right? Or you can become corrupt. You can become someone who's enslaved in the mind to Odium. Or you can just become a noble or something like that. So depending on which destiny you have, you're going to play differently. And the destiny lets you score points for different things. So you definitely want to be building your tableau as you work towards your destiny based on what your eventual destiny will be, assuming you can achieve it. Because it's possible that you don't achieve your destiny.
How many different cards of destiny are there, approximately?
There's a big old deck.
Is there a deck? Oh,
there's a big old deck, yeah. It must be 20, 30 cards in there, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So before we started the game, Elias kind of just introduced the world to me. And then we sort of read the summary of the world before we started the game. That's part of the rule book. I didn't understand some of the references just because it was a lot of new terms like light eyes, or I just integrated some of it into my storyline without always understanding what it meant from reading the book. But that didn't take away from the experience of the game for me. So I really enjoyed building my character's story. Like, he was a peasant whose destiny was to become radiant, but then along the way, he ends up being corrupted by odium, and I couldn't come up from the corruption. Like, I couldn't become radiant and meet my destiny in the end, and I lost because I could never win the challenges. Like, I didn't have enough willpower, let's say, so you can just build in the story into the cards, and I love that about the game. It's very simple. It's not a complex game. You on your turn, you basically either choose a trait card, which just gives you different like icons or treasures or with that trait, or you face a challenge. And one thing I loved about the game is the runes tokens. So unlike other sort of tableau building games or deck building, like I don't know if Elias is gonna kill me, but wait, does Mage Knight have dice?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare compare this game to Mage Knight.
No. What I'm trying to say is, like, when you face a challenge and you need to roll dice, it doesn't have the same feeling. Like, this game, those tokens that are just double-sided, and then you're just shaking them and, like, trying to cast a spell or whatever you're doing in the game, it's really fun. And putting together your different abilities, I loved it. Like, I know Elias didn't enjoy it as much as me, but I felt like it's a light, fun game. It's half an hour. There's a small storyline that you can create for yourself, for your character. And like, if you like fiction as a person and you wanted to get into board games, like, I would start with this. I would introduce you to this because I felt like the motions were simple in the game. Like, there wasn't a lot to it.
I was going to ask you this. I mean, it sounds like light D&D for younger audiences.
Not D&D.
Not D&D, because you're not like living the storyline. You sort of tell your story in the end. You just like read the traits you get along the way and what happens to you. But at the end, you're getting 9 cards, like 3, 3, 3 in every level. So it's short, and yeah, it doesn't play into the game.
Yeah, when you're playing the game, you're just looking for the icons that match best.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's the best challenge for me to do right now.
Yeah.
Like, there were many times as a fan of the game, I was like, oh, I'd love to have been a Parshendi as my origin, but I can't pick the Parshendi because my destiny really prefers me to pick this other card and start off as a scribe. So as a fan, I was upset because I wanted to be a Parshendi, but I was just a human fucking scribe, and that was disappointing to me.
As a non-fan, I was focused on my destiny.
So know your limits, Elias.
Yeah, know your place.
It's not easy to become radiant, to really get all the traits and abilities you need to meet your destiny in the end.
Nor should it.
Co-op helped with that, but what happened in our last co-op is that Elias was trying to help me reach my destiny, and then in the end,
I didn't reach mine.
He didn't reach his, so we couldn't defeat Odium. Like, he wasn't strong enough. So
I understand that this is a 30 minutes game, but would anybody say, okay, let's play this again?
Yeah.
After the
yeah, it's so light.
Just to have the experience of a new story.
For sure. Your story is very
100%.
different. Very different.
Nice.
Like, my 2 cents is this is not a bad game in any shape, will, or form. Like, it's a good game. But it's not staying in the collection. And the reason is it's just a little too light for me. First, so positively, it's beautiful. if you like the Stormlight Archive, if you love the Stormlight Archive and that's enough for you to like a game, just the theme. Like, for example, I adore Firefly, but I don't own Firefly anymore because I didn't enjoy the gameplay enough to keep the game. So that's the same reason I got this game. I adore the Stormlight Archive, but the gameplay was not enough for me to keep the game. I think it's a very solid game. And another thing that you could really use it for is if you play a ton of D&D. This is a really good way to create backstories for NPC characters, like non-player characters. So if you're DMing, you could play a quick game of this, and then you could literally have two characters that have awesome full stories from their origin to their destinies, and you can integrate those into your story instead of having to come out with a full life for every NPC character you have to create as a DM. So I really see a use of that, but I'm not usually a DM. Usually it's Eugenio or AK who's DMing all the RPGs I'm playing. So it's not like something I'm going to use a lot. But the game is good. And really the best thing I can say is this is a huge step up from Boss Monster. I mean, like Boss Monster, I tried so hard to like it because I love the art.
It was a terrible game.
It's just so fucking shit. Oh my God. It's ass. Like the game sucks, right? But this game is not. It's a solid game.
Do you know that there are expansions for Boss Monster?
I do know that, yes.
And have you tried them all?
No, I have not. So, this game, I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to keep it. I'm not upset that I bought it. I enjoyed my gameplays of it, but I can see I'd like to play something else. And maybe part of the reason is that I got the Stormlight Archive edition, because every story I created was kind of on a similar path. You know what I mean? Because most of the destinies are Radiants. So at the end of the day, you're probably going to become Radiant. And then, like, you're probably going to face Odium. You're probably going to, solve a crime. Like, there's a lot of similar elements that run through it. So I didn't feel like there was diverse enough. Maybe this is better in the base game, which is just generic fantasy, because then it doesn't have the formula of the Stormlight Archive. So maybe the very thing that attracted me to it might have been the reason that I didn't love it. So that's something to consider. I would not persuade anyone away from trying this game. And I would not persuade anyone from buying this game because it's not very expensive, right? It was 35 Canadian dollars. So
how much in money?
How much in real money?
Like $28 or something like that, right? So it's not an expensive game. You get a beautiful art. You get to fucking cast runes. It's so much fun. But if you are somebody who is partial towards deeper strategy, the strategy in this game is extremely light set collection. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Extremely light set collection. There's no deep strategy. There's no combo building. It's just collect some icons that match well together. But the stories are great. And maybe I'd like to try, if somebody I know has the base game, I'd like to try that a few times to see if the stories are more divergent from each other than the stories within the Stormlight Archive, which I felt all followed the preconceived path of the Stormlight Archive. So that's my review of this game. If you're at all interested, try it. Like, it's a good game.
That sounds like a good game to play with my kids.
The thing is, it depends on their comprehension of cards. So cards, beyond just having a drawing and icons, they'll say something like, if you have X icon, then when you roll this, you can pay this to roll this. So that it adds a little more complication.
Yeah, or if you fail a challenge, you can spend 2 gems or rubies.
To experience
to try it again. So it gives you some ability.
Yeah, if they can comprehend those, then yes, I agree.
So, okay, older kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all in all, good progress from the Brotherwise guys. I enjoyed it a lot more than Boss Monster. Gorgeous art, good game, just not for me.
Yeah, no, overall, really, it's a fun game. light. I really enjoyed every play.
Do you want me not to sell this? I still have it. I don't have to sell it.
No. Like,
All right.
I'd like to play heavier games again. I'm ready.
All right, folks.
Wow.
So that was Call to Adventure, the Stormlight Archive. And now, it's time for the game show of the week, baby!
I've been waiting for this.
Finally! I guess the game's down in Africa.
With Byron.
Welcome to I Guess the Game's Down in Africa.
With Byron.
So
Ooh, yeah.
Byron today is going to be guessing what game we are in 1 minute.
What game we are in.
What game world we're in, sort of. So we're going to have 2 games each. The timer is going to count down from 60 seconds, and we'll get as many points as the remaining seconds. So if Ippo guesses the game in 5 seconds, he'll get 55 points. If Elias guesses it in 10 seconds, he'll get 50 points. So, if Byron guesses Elias' game, sorry. So we're all counting on you, Byron.
Either way, I'll still win, so.
Just to clarify, don't use any of the words that are in the title of the game. Don't use any, like, proper names, like faction names. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay? Who wants to go first? Or Byron, do you want to pick who goes first?
Okay, guys. I think because Elias is also from Africa, he should go first.
Okay. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, go. No, wait. Go.
I'm in the place that we are from, and there are all these mining operations happening around me.
Mombasa.
So 48 seconds. So Elias gets 48 points.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go next. Yeah, but guys, it's hard. It's hard for me to guess the games down in Africa.
You don't have to guess the games. You just have to.
I have to guess the games. You've got to sell them to me.
Oh,
Okay,
guys,
You got your game. Let me know when you read it, and then I'll start the timer. I'll do 3, 2, 1, go.
ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
So we are in these islands on the sky, and we're floating, and there is so much commerce for some reason. And things that you need to do.
But I can't remember it.
You need to plan in order to do these things. You need to plan.
Sky Traders? No, it won't be Sky Traders.
And that's all I remember from that.
Yeah.
And it's blue. It's a blue world. It's
the blue world.
right because of the sky, I guess. And we're floating, and it's.
I have no idea.
And what else can I say?
10 seconds.
And it.
The best 10 seconds ever.
1, 0.
There's nothing I can play. I couldn't even play with a word.
No, yeah. I don't know if Byron's ever played it. Noria.
Oh, I've never played Noria.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I guess I'm next. 0 points for Ippo.
Sorry, Ippo.
But I like I love the description of we're in floating islands in the sky, and there's lots of commerce for some reason.
That was really good.
But it wasn't Sky Traders.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, Neanderthals. I have no idea where this place is. It's in the north, maybe.
Stone Age?
No, it's
So is it the Yeti Gate? No.
It's a place where, like, maybe I don't know. It's like we're in a location with I don't know.
Greenland.
Yes. How'd you get that? I don't even know.
Did you get your points?
I just did it based on the
It's not
image.
sushi.
Oh, sorry.
30.
30. Okay.
And I was thinking this is a Phil Eklund game, but I don't remember the title. I was going to say,
I was like, it's like Neanderthal.
Yeah, the funny thing is the series is Neanderthal in Greenland. And she just goes Neanderthal. And I'm like, whoa. That's really good. All right, so it's me again.
Yeah. Okay, let me restart the timer first.
Oh boy, I don't think he even knows this
Okay,
one.
3.
Okay, you see it?
Wait. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm in a world that has no theme. The world is made of wood, and there's lots of flicking. and
it's not flick 'em up.
no, and there's no theme in this world. It's just wood. Just wood, Byron. And then
I know this. It's
and then there's like discs, and then we're flicking them. And
I really want to cheat right now, but I can't.
And there's 2 different shades of wood, Byron. And it's going in the circle.
And it's definitely not checkers because you jump in checkers.
No, you're flicking, Byron.
I know. I don't know the name.
This is not a world that has a theme, Byron. Oh,
Carlos, I think
it's it's a disc
10
world.
seconds.
It's a circular disc world.
Oh, Terry Pratchett's this world.
3, 2,
It was
1.
Crokinole.
Crokinole.
Yeah, no, I've never played it, never heard of it.
It's in the top 100.
Can we all guess maybe next time?
No,
Should it
because you're not
be?
in Africa. I guess the game's done in Africa.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Plus, it wouldn't be fair. Like, the idea is we all have the same handicap, which is Byron.
It's true. And it's quite a big handicap.
Okay, now we move to Ippokratic now.
See, Ippo, there's a chance now. If I can get you 49 points on this one, you can beat.
Just say random games.
No, wait. Let me put the timer. Sorry. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Byron, we are in a popular world, but I cannot really say many things. I cannot really say many words. I mean, I couldn't. It's a very popular thing, but there are things that I cannot say.
Where words?
There are things I cannot say really.
I know. It's trap words.
Even more popular, very popular, like
Spyfall.
like Hasbro popular.
Not Spyfall. Code names. Code names.
Keep going, Ippo. Keep going. You have time.
No, I mean like Monopoly popular. that kind of world, like
Frozen Monopoly, not Frozen Monopoly.
you know there are things,
10 seconds.
words that you cannot say.
Oh, taboo.
5 seconds. You have 5 seconds left. Ippo, you get 5 points.
I'm just sitting here going,
And that's what made me remember.
That was so funny. Oh, man.
Ippo did not change clues. Like, he just kept saying the same
Yeah,
thing.
you get the same one over, and I'm like, oh,
He's
this isn't helping.
like Hasbro popular. Like Monopoly
Like you could have
popular.
said, it has a buzzer.
All right, are you ready for your
Yeah,
refresh?
yeah.
Okay.
You're going to say 3, 2, 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's yours.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
We're in Nazi Germany, and there are many people that are secretly...
Nope. 0
No,
points.
damn it, I lost.
And that would have been secret Hitler.
Yeah. She said Nazi and secret after she lectured us.
Oh, yeah, but not
to
using any...
Oh.
Okay, so Elias is the winner with 48 points.
Oh my God.
I'm second with 30 points, and Ippo is third with 5 points. Good
Yeah.
Good job,
job, Ippo. Byron,
Ippo.
thank you for your efforts.
I'm glad to see that I helped Elias win again. But there would be no asterisks next to his name this time.
Oh.
So that was, I guess, the games down in Africa.
Thank you very much, Dima. It seems like you had a lot of time this week to prepare a game show.
Oh, yeah. Really worked hard on this one. Thank you, Elias.
Oh. Ipa, we found this place next to our house to serve Greek food, souvlaki and gyros, but their tzatziki is shit. Like, yours is so much better.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Oh.
And it's the most important.
Yeah, and I really missed you, and I felt like we should hook up soon.
This is a family podcast.
Oh yeah.
Used to be.
Such a family podcast. Guys, you guys hear that?
Yeah.
You hear that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it coming from the Greek place down the road?
I think so.
Get better, Tzatziki. You want
The
my
most
business.
important ingredient.
It's time for the Ippokratic Corner!
Hello.
Whoa,
It's
anticlimactic.
so every time he does it, and it's so dumb every time.
Because everybody's expecting, a big intro from me. But
You like to
You know,
disappoint.
I like to make things, spicy. Like garlic spicy. That's it. So, guys, in this Hippocratic Corner, you will be surprised, but I want you to tell me a top 3. And this episode's top 3 has a theme, and the theme is an asteroid will hit Earth tomorrow. You've been selected for the crew that will escape Earth, taking with you the only evidence that humanity ever existed. You've been assigned to take with you the 3 board games that humanity will know for the rest of the years. What games do you take with you?
Whoa.
Very good.
How am I going to fit that on the banner?
It's only 3.5 lines of text.
This week's banner is just text, a wall of text. Like, I just hope you enjoy it.
I'm so excited about this one. I'm so
It's
excited.
top 3 games to save for humanity. That's the banner.
That's the banner. I like it. All right.
Okay, guys, and for this week, who goes first?
I'll go first if you want.
I don't mind going first.
I can go first.
Actually, there is a surprise.
This was not
Oh my
staged.
god, that's so bad. That's so Actually, there's a surprise. No one
You know,
expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Hello.
It's so bad that is good. So the surprise is that I asked from a board game designer to provide his own top 3 for this episode.
Wow.
And
I'm so excited for this because I know who it is and the other 2 don't. And I've been bursting to tell Dima. And like,
so this guy,
I need to tell Dima, not me. Okay, I see.
Seriously.
you don't,
See how it
we don't
rolls.
live in the same hemisphere.
First of all, there's favoritism.
But you
I don't
send
know
me
why
photos
Elias
of your
knew.
knife every day.
It's a nice night.
so guys, I'm gonna give you a clue. Who?
No, let them
gave
guess.
me
Let them
his top-
guess.
It is the designer of the game Rolling Realms.
What?
Rolling what?
Rolling Realms.
Is that true?
Realms.
Yeah, thank you.
Rolling Realms?
Whatever.
Is that true?
Yes.
All right, guys. Who's your guesses? Who do you think this is?
Ryan Lockhart.
Dima?
But it's not Ryan Lockhart.
Rolling Realms? I don't know.
You cheeky bastard, Ipo.
Martin
second
Wallace.
clue. It's
It's for
Oh,
sure
nice.
not gonna be Martin Wallace.
Okay, second clue. It's the designer of Euphoria, Build a Better Dystopia.
Sid Meier?
Jamey Stegmaier.
That's it. Jamey Stegmaier. Oh, that's nice.
Like Byron said Stegmaier, and I said Jamey Stegmaier. So we cooperatively
I
guessed.
said Sid Meier, like the guy that did Civilization. So I'm way off.
So my friend Jamie, he's already my friend because we have exchanged like 2 emails already. I think that's all. But
Jamey
yeah,
Stegmaier.
I think after the first email, I already felt a bonding. So
I just want to thank, like, of all the people, like, I cannot imagine how busy he must be.
I know, that's so amazing.
Like with how like Stonemaier Games is and how hot everything is. And he took the time to answer our small podcast and Like, we're really grateful.
I'm so humbled and honored.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
I follow him on Instagram, and he's one of the few that like reply to every single comment.
Yeah, but like it's one thing to reply to a comment. It's another thing to like come up with a top 3 for the most ridiculous top 3 imaginable. And be like, here's my serious answer to this. And I'm like, you know what? I
mine weren't that
even
serious.
though I own almost every Stonemaier games, I feel like I need to buy more. I need to start doubling up on some of them.
I feel so bad after my top 3 is going to come out.
I felt I took advantage of the fact that he's a fan of top 10s. And for the people that don't know Jamey Stegmaier, he's the designer of Scythe, Tapestry, Viticulture, Charterstone, and the games we mentioned before. Actually, The Rolling Realms is a game, print and play, that he created for during the coronavirus pandemic.
Oh, the free one, right? The free one that he released.
For people to play with him on Facebook.
That's amazing.
Or So let's start with his top 3. And
what did old Jamey say?
Our old pal Jamey.
Our old pal Jamey.
So he said, "Hi, Ippokratis. Thanks for asking about
People,
this.
have you framed the picture? Have you printed out the email and put it on your wall?
Oh man, I want a copy so I can frame it and put it on my wall.
Just change Ippokratis for Byron.
No. I'll keep Ippokratis.
That would
I
be the
remember
most
both of them at the same time.
If you ever had a lady in your room and she goes to the wall and reads, "Dear Ippokratis," they're tasking me what my top 3 board games to survive humanity.
You see, your first mistake is thinking there'd be a lady in my room.
Okay, that's not a problem. It could be a guy.
No. There'd be no one in my room.
All right, Ippo.
So he said, "Thanks for asking about this. As for 3 games for the remaining humans to use and possibly share with alien civilizations."
Oh, nice. He added his own twist. Love it.
I would select the following. Number 1, actually there's no order. Okay, so I will just go through. First game, chess.
Oh.
For the other civilizations to see the roots of human tabletop games.
Wow.
That's a good choice. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Second game, The Crew.
Oh. Like the trick-taking game, the one we reviewed.
The trick-taking. Yeah,
wow.
The one we reviewed last episode.
Wow.
I think a cooperative game themed around traveling into space would be appropriate for this scenario.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm digging his top 3 so far.
And his third game is Tapestry.
Okay.
Because I want the Stormlight game on this list.
That's amazing.
And it can be used to play out a number of scenarios for how to rebuild civilization.
And a Civ game is a way to go. Like, I thought about Civilization for my top 3, so why not go with your own Civilization game? So, yeah.
Exactly.
See, I'm very upset because, you know, his list is my exact list. And
so I wanted to say, well, Jamey, if you're in that spaceship, humanity is okay. You'll make some good games, I guess. There's no problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good answer, by the way. We don't actually need to take any games. You could just make new games.
we'll just send you.
So, guys, now full disclosure. I came with my top 3 after I've read his top 3.
Me too. Not his top 3.
I thought, okay, so it's different because I thought I was not affected by his opinion, but now that I'm seeing my top 3, anyway, let me tell you what's my top 3, and we'll discuss if it's a copy paste or something. because I was thinking they need these people. They need a co-op game because cooperation is part of humanity and it's very important.
If only.
I went the other way.
If only that was true.
Exactly. Humans are evil people.
So my choices were Gloomhaven, Robinson Crusoe, and Seventh Continent. And from these 3 games, I would prefer Seventh Continent. So my number 3 game to go is Seventh Continent.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
My second game, my number 2 game is Dominant Species, which is a game about our planet, and maybe the young generations will learn something about how was Earth or something like that.
Yes.
Evolution,
my top game would be a Civ game, because that's
Through the Ages.
what it's all about, and it's Through the Ages, a new story of civilization.
I knew it. I
Oh
told
my
Dima.
gosh.
As soon as we did this,
yesterday.
last night, I look at Dima, I go, you know, Ipo's number 1 is going to be Through the Ages, right?
Actually, humanity's number 1 game should be Through the Ages. Or Tapestry, or anyway, a Civ game, okay. So I went with a Civ game, a co-op game, and Dominant Species. Okay, so that's my top 3.
I think it's a very good top 3. I think I should go next because I was also slightly tainted because I knew Jamey had given us his top 3, even though I don't know what his top 3 was. So my top 3 was going to be Wingspan because it has all that beautiful wildlife. It basically categorizes an entire group of animals that would not be able to exist on another planet or in a spaceship, with gorgeous art, beautiful details, and little trivia about each type of bird. And also Jamey Stegmaier is amazing and gave us his top 3, so I'm sucking up to him a little bit. Go buy Stonemaier games. Oh, wait. You probably already are because they're awesome. But thanks to Jamey, it's actually chess. My number 3 is chess. He kind of fucked himself over on that one. Oh, man. No, in all seriousness, my number 3 is Wingspan because I couldn't think of any one. Like, I thought of Dominant Species. I wanted something that encapsulated nature. So I thought of Dominant Species and I thought of evolution. But I felt like evolution was a very inappropriate explanation of evolution. Like, it's really not how, like, you don't learn anything from evolution. It's just a fun take that game. And Dominant Species was, I don't know. I didn't feel like the names of the scientific things were there, but I felt also it was a bit too maybe dog
To
eat
be
dog
honest, yeah,
to be my one.
you're
like,
right. I mean,
I don't know, game about nature. So I felt like if I couldn't save all the information about all the creatures or evolution, birds are probably the thing that's going to least likely survive in a spaceship. So Wingspan would literally categorize the entire biome of aviation and birds. And I think
I was going to say that Dominant
miss.
Species
So
is more
that's
about people that know Earth, while Wingspan, help people that, don't know. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. You can look at the beautiful creatures and, their wingspan reached this height and they ate this. And I think it's cool. Plus, it's pretty, and we'll need color when we're stuck in a dark gray spaceship. Which leads me to my number 2. It's Caverna. Because of all the farming games, Caverna has the most character. It has the most, you building your house and your little farm and you're putting the animals together. It's a smaller homestead than something like Fields of Arle, and it's more forgiving, and you have the building of your cave as opposed to something like Agricola. So I really felt like Caverna was the one where people, when their head's in a weird place or whatever, they like something simple. Like, let's be honest, Stardew Valley is one of the biggest video games of the last few years, and Animal Crossing went completely fucking bonkers. And part of the reason is because of quarantine. People were stuck in their house. They wanted a game they could play for 10 minutes or 4 hours, right? And they could just go around building little houses, making friends, creating their island. So I figured if we're stuck in a place that has no nature, no farming, no green,
Oh, nice.
Caverna would be the game I'd want to bring out because you could really get lost in it, and you could disconnect with the cold metal can dark universe you find yourself in every day, all day. So Caverna is my number 2. And my number 1 is Virgin Queen. I have a reason for this. Because I want everyone to see what a shitstorm royalty, religion, and other imaginary divisive borders did to the world. And hopefully we won't fuck it up when we're given a second chance.
What a nice I was gonna say that's a shitty option, but yeah,
no,
you really,
because no, like if you think about a Virgin Queen, they're all like in the same family. They're all married to each other, and most of them in the game are Christian. They're just different versions of Christian, and they're killing each other over like the slightest reason. It's like I took a Byron and we both say our favorite game is both Twilight Imperium. My favorite faction is Emirates of Hakan, and Byron's like, no, I like the Embers of Muat, and then I stab him. That so my point is, let's not draw imaginary lines. We're all in the same world together. In this case, the same tiny ship or the same tiny new colony. Let's not draw divisive lines, regardless of what we look like, what we believe in. We're all in this together. Look at what a shitstorm happened when we gave power to people and believed that their power came from God or was given by birth, royalty. Let's not do that. No more imaginary borders. We're all one. Let's not fuck this shit up again. Virgin Queen, my number one top game to save for humanity.
That was amazing, Arias. Thank you. I now love Virgin Queen for some reason. Seriously, I mean, I never thought about it this way. Anyway, okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you should leave me for last.
When I was given this directive by our creative director Ippokratic, I took it upon myself to ignore it and make my own rules to it.
Oh, that's the first time.
What's new?
One of those rules was it cannot be a fiction game. I don't want people going in there with their heads full of lies. It's all they have left of our planet. They need to remember it. So, in my third spot, thanks to cousin Jamey, I'm tied between 3 games, with chess winning out of all of them. It was checkers, chess, or a pack of cards, because the options are endless in a pack of cards. You can replay checkers as many times as you want, and it's a simple 2-player strategy game. But chess is just better overall because there's just more depth to it. Also, if you lose any of the pieces in space, you can replace them with little wrenches and sockets and screws.
Why not Go then? Because I was thinking when Ippo said Jamey picked chess, I was thinking Go might be the way to go, because Go has infinitely more combinations than, like infinitely, but a lot more combinations than chess. So I thought maybe.
But when you make your own chess pieces in space, you can be very creative.
Okay. Well, that's a good reason. I ever heard.
And
one.
like everyone grows up like being introduced or playing chess at some point in their
you are
life.
literally just talking about your youth. Like if I grew up in China, I would have grown up playing Go, not chess.
or Mahjong.
Yeah,
Mahjong.
Like chess, because chess is from European and Arab origins. Like we say chess, but in Ghana, no one plays chess. We play ORA growing up. So in Nepal, when we went there, everyone played Bagchal. Nobody played chess. So
yeah.
It depends where you grew up.
Guys,
so you're bringing your own. You see these imaginary borders, Dima, that you're taking with you into space?
These prejudices will not stand.
They will not stand. Floater.
Guys, the only reason a pack of cards was not in my top 3 is because we are a modern board gaming podcast.
Exactly. That's why I like chess, which is even older than a pack of cards one.
Oh, it's so funny.
Okay.
In my number 2, okay, I did say no fiction, and it's kind of fiction, but it's not really. Is Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, you're breaking your own
totally
rules.
Fiction. Well, it's not fiction.
He's breaking his own rules.
Like nobody enforced that rule on him, and then he did, and then broke it.
The reason is it's co-op, it's about survival. It's all important skills people need to learn in case they have to recolonize another planet.
Nice. That was very. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And they'll know you got to get that fire going. You got to keep the fire going. They'll learn very quickly.
Yeah.
Well, you got to pick a game that has a lot of flammable pieces, I think. Like a game that you could use as Tinder. So you can spark.
Exactly.
Sherlock Holmes consulting detective.
In my number 1 spot, I wanted to put Through the Ages because it's very historic and there's all the leaders and you can teach the new children in schools about the different leaders and history. But instead, I went with Leaving Earth as my number 1.
I thought you were going to say Cards Against Humanity.
Oh God.
Oh well, yo.
Wouldn't leaving Earth just be
What we're doing
everyday life?
every
for
day,
them?
Yeah, boring.
They need to understand how they got to that point.
I mean,
able
to
leave
be
the Earth.
honest with you, it's like we buy a game called Podcast and then clean my house and then cook.
House chores. work and house chores.
Okay, I would buy that game.
Oh my God.
You
I would
would.
too.
I know you both would.
Podcast and cleaning.
Anyway, I thought my top 3 was great.
It was
It's not
so
as good as
great.
Jamey's, but
It was really great, actually. Yeah, I thought about Pack of Cards. I thought about Robinson Crusoe and Living.
I'm gonna be the only one here that's honest with you, Byron. It was not great. It was.
Okay.
yeah, it's not my best work. But considering I only realized we were recording like 10 minutes before we started,
It's pretty good for that. Yeah.
it's pretty good.
I think it was the second greatest until we hear Dima.
Okay, guys. I sort of went in another direction because I don't believe in humanity improving. And I don't believe in a utopic future where we all of a sudden become cooperative and good people. Okay?
I think you're
So
starting
what
to understand why Dima doesn't play co-op games.
So what I did was I didn't include any simple games like cards, chess, a bonanza, like anything that you can literally reproduce. Ticket to Ride, Catan, like all these games, you can draw them on a piece of paper, take pieces from the ship, as Byron said, and then make it. Okay?
I'd love to see you do that to Ticket to Ride.
I don't know. You have coloring pens? So you can do it with planets. You don't need cities. So, okay, the 3 games I chose are not in any particular order, okay? They're just 3 games that will like salvage humanity's, like, I don't know how to describe it. Who we are as humans, okay?
Jesus Christ.
So
This is not good.
so one of the 3 games I chose was Arkwright because I wanted to represent industrialization, capitalism, like bring up your stock value and then buying the most of the shares in your own company, choosing productivity over wellness of people. I really wanted to show how much capitalism is a big part of our lives and how we don't really care about each other.
That's amazing. I feel now Ippokratic Corner is going to be a philosophical corner. I mean,
Okay.
it reaches its potential.
So my next game is Food Chain Magnet.
Oh my God.
Because I wanted people to remember that in space you can still create
McDonald's.
consumerism, marketing, greed, shallowness. Like I just want people to remember who we are as a civilization and not forget, yes, how we
#never forget.
how we ended up with McDonald's every 100 meters. And my last one is...
Excuse me, sorry, but they will miss that in a
I'm
space.
so
right?
fucking depressed, man. I'm so depressed. Like,
They have to...
I would miss McDonald's in a space.
Exactly. So we need to recreate that terrible culture that we've created now in the real world. Okay? And the last thing I wanted to bring with us is a little bit of history, you know? And I wanted to show how horrible we are as human beings
God.
and how
Oh no.
how egotistical politicians can create wars across the whole world because they want to be the strongest. And I selected Twilight Struggle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say This War of Mine. Okay, but yeah,
I haven't
enough.
played This War of Mine, but yeah, either or. just
That's very
yeah, just
nice.
to remember how we didn't care about each other and how nobody cared about the world,
guys,
just themselves
I'm so
and their
s-
money
I'm
and
so
their
s-
positions.
I'm so sad. I feel so sad.
I just wanted future
I don't want
generations
to be
to
on that
know
spaceship.
that when they have these urges to take over and be leaders and be horrible to one another, that they're not the first of their kind. that we were always like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the love of my life, my wife. Round of applause, please. The person I have to live in a house with.
Dima, is your spaceship called the SS Trainwreck?
It's the SS Xanax. Because everyone on it's going to need something to deal with the depression.
I think Elias should have went after me because he was like all about farming and utopia, coming together and co-op. And I'm like, what world do you live in? Who are these people?
I'm trying to make a better world, woman.
You're going to space.
I'm trying to make a better world.
We want things better, not worse.
Dima's like, let's go fuck up somewhere else.
No,
Why don't you just include space slavery while you're at it?
No, we're definitely going to fuck up somewhere else. I'm just ensuring that everyone knows that this is okay. This is who we are by nature.
I feel like you should have depressed everyone more by just taking Space Alert and Galaxy Trucker and then writing on them, we're not going to make it.
Why don't you just bring in Euphoria, making a better world?
It's so depressing. Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah, thank you, Ippo. This was really fun. I haven't enjoyed making a top 3 this much in a while.
Guys, yeah, true. I really loved all of your.
You see what happens, Ippo, when you make an effort?
Yeah. That's why I'm making
Instead
an
of
effort,
top
like
3 Euro
every
games,
2 years.
top 3
Excuse me,
co-op
Elias.
games.
Excuse me, Elias. Ippokratic is the hardest worker on this podcast.
So, guys, for the next episode,
Not the least hardworking.
top 3 games for 4 players.
No! I quit. I'm out. Headphones off. Let's go.
Guys, seriously, I mean, that was one of the my favorite moments for the top 3. I mean, I loved your way of
the
thinking
darkness
and what you brought on this table. And
I need a drink.
okay. I just wanted to say that if in this spaceship I was responsible to bring the top 3 foods, one of them would be tzatziki.
I don't think yogurt would make it.
Yeah, sauces maybe a yogurt, dairy.
No, you take the cow with you, so you always have dairy.
And steak.
To save for humanity.
Bring Caverna to
And then
life,
the methane
baby.
gas you can use as fuel, so it works.
So, for our listeners, guys, please let us know your top 3 games to save for humanity on our Twitter account, that is at TT Sessions QA, or
Did you
over
see how
at
he slowed
our
down?
BGG Guild.
Hopefully by the time we're leaving Earth, because it's destroyed, Ippo would remember how to say our Twitter.
Even if you don't remember our Twitter account, doesn't matter, because all our links will be in the episode description.
Doesn't matter. We don't want you to follow us anyway. Guys, we're sorry if you have to go do something to make yourself feel happy again. I don't know if I'll ever feel happiness again, but that brings us to the end of this tabletop session. Just remember, if you're sad, just remember when this episode ends, I'm still living with Dima. So there's no escape for me. That brings us to the end of this tabletop session. Thank you so much for listening. Please check out our very active Instagram account at Tabletop Sessions. You can reach us through Twitter at TT Sessions QA, or join the conversation over at our Board Game Geek Guild. And you can find the link to all of these in the episode description. Please rate us on iTunes or on Apple Podcasts, or rate us through your Android podcast app of choice, whatever that is. We'll be back in 3 weeks, and until then, to quote one of my favorite writers, and something to take with us into space as we leave the Earth behind. God damn it, you've got to be kind. Say bye, guys.
Do you though?
Yes, you do.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Peace. Do we need it? Peace. A story by Dima Sayed.
If you're stuck in a spaceship with Dima, certainly you're gonna need it.
Also, bring a gun just in case.
Tabletop session.
Can you count to 10, Ippo?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Can you stand up, stand on one leg, and then raise the other opposite arm up?
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Let's start the game show of the week.
Ippo, can you rub your belly and pat your head at the same time?
Can you do the alphabet backwards?
Z,
A little bit faster.
Y, X,